International Networking Day. I understand you're doing a session called Networking 101. What are some tips that you could share in this kind of forum, you know, to give us a sense of what you're going to be talking about?
Well, again, we've said, you know, let's take it back. Get rid of all the fluff and take it back to the very beginning of what networking is. So number one, you know, showing up is one thing. They always say, show up and it's half the battle. No, come on. Like, you show up and you float in the room. It's really not. It's being prepared. It's coming with what you need out of it as well, knowing what your intention is going into the room, as well as coming what you can give. Number one, when you're starting to network, what do you have to offer? Not what you sell. What do you have to offer? What can I give to somebody to help enhance their business, help them grow? What information can I share? Who can I connect them with? I think that's the first place to start. Go in with that intention. And always at the back of it, you have to know, you have to make money and don't be ashamed of it. Of course, right? You're going out to do business. But for me, I think that's number one. When I meet somebody, first off, that's new to it, the first thing they will do is, this is what I do. This is what I do. Oh, okay. Can I just give you a piece of advice?
I think another important piece, too, is knowing what makes you unique and different. You know, because you could have... you know, 25 jewelry makers in the room, and each one does things maybe a little bit differently, or their style is unique. But if you go in and you're not really sure what it is that makes you different than the next person, then when people start sort of raising those objections, it's like, oh, you know, I have a cousin who does that, who I can get it a lot cheaper. Well, why would they want to go with you instead of the cousin? So it's really knowing, it's really important to know yourself, know what your intentions are with your business, and also when you walk into a room and you are going to be doing some networking, and knowing what makes you special.
Right.
Feeling special.
Yeah.
You know, even just
truly
that alone.
In
Yes,
your
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, and then there's the marketing that goes on that too. Something interesting this morning, I mean, one of our staff asked me, I'm doing something different, and she asked, who's your market? Who are you targeting? And it took me back to the beginning. Oh, wait a minute. I could say everybody, but I know better than that. I teach this stuff. You know, it's knowing when you walk into the room that not everybody in the room is really your market. And if you come out of there with one or two real connections, not every single person, one or two real connections that you can legitimately follow up with within the next week, you're successful at that networking.
For sure.
That's right.
And it may not even be a direct contact, right? It could be, I'm looking for an opportunity in this industry, and there's no one in the room in that industry, but maybe they know people.
Well, we all have a circle of influence of 2,000.
Yeah.
We all do. Every single one of us, even though we think our circles are about this big, they're not.
Is that how many people you know? 2,000? Is that what this
is?
I think with social networking now too, and all the, so you might not personally know all those people, but it's also who they know, and so your connection really does expand that wide.
But you have absolute influence over 200 people. You have influence. You've touched their lives somehow. And so think about that. So when you think of a circle of 200 people, and then you think of their 200, and their 200, and when you've touched them, and when you have connected, then they will put you in front of their 200. They won't until they know you and trust you and love you.
That's the key piece.
That's the mistake people make, eh? That assumption that because I've introduced myself to you, now you know me, and you'll refer me. But that's not necessarily true.
Well, it's not true at all.
Right.
I'm not going to take a chance on you.
Yeah, we've just met.
Right. So I'm going to refer you to my girlfriends or to my family. How do I know that your ethics match mine, that it matches my people, you know, my people, my people, and my people call my people, right? You know, but how do we know? You don't know. And so it's imperative that you get to know each other, and that's why we say, taking it right back, peeling all of that back to the beginning is networking it's work. Number one, it's work. You have to connect, you know?
And you have to open up and let people see the real you. You know, if you really want to connect. Because, you know, any relationship, and this is what I teach as well, is, you know, any relationship starts with trust.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, if you can't trust the other person, I don't care if it's a romantic relationship or a friendship or a business relationship, trust has to be the number one piece. And once you start gaining trust of each other and getting to know each other and knowing that your values match and all of that other stuff, then they are more likely to then, you know, they might not need your service right now. And this is what we tell our people at our meetings all the time. You know, you might not necessarily do business with the people in this room. However, when they get to know what you do and they get to trust you, then when their sister needs a carpet cleaner, then they're going to think of you. Because they go, oh yeah, there's a lady in my group that does that, and she's a lovely lady. I would trust her to come into your home. Right? So it's all about that relationship again.